everyone, how are you? This is Madeline. Welcome back to my channel. Today, let's keep learning Lesson 5, Part 2, Family Members. Alright, let's start.
Lesson 5, Part 2, 家庭成员. In today's lesson, we will introduce how to call different family members in Chinese. We will also learn how to introduce our family members. Let's start. Now let's look at this picture. If this is 我, then he must be 爸爸. She is 妈妈. If I have an older brother, I call him 哥哥. And if I have an older sister, I call her 姐姐. If I have a younger brother, I call him 弟弟. If I have a younger sister, I call her 妹妹. You might also hear 父亲 and 母亲. 父亲 means father. 母亲 means mother. In Chinese, the formal way of saying father and mother is 父亲 and 母亲. But in our everyday conversations, it's common to say 爸爸 and 妈妈. Now let's look at this picture. They are your grandparents. We call them grandpa and grandma. In English, grandpa and grandma are commonly used as father's and mother's parents. But in Chinese culture, terms addressing relatives are differentiated along father side and mother side lines. If they are your father's parents, we call your grandpa as 爷爷, and your grandma should be 奶奶. Now let's look at this picture. This woman has a son. Her son has 2 kids, 1 boy and 1 girl. So when this woman introduces her grandchildren to the other people, she say, "This is my 孙子, grandson. And this is my 孙女, granddaughter." Now let's look at how to call grandparents in mother's side. We call mom's dad 外公 and mom's mom 外婆. In some place, we also call 外公姥爷 and 外婆姥姥. Now let's look at this picture. This couple has a daughter. Their daughter has 1 boy and 1 girl. So when this couple introduce their grandchildren to the other people, they say, "This is my 外孙子. She is my 外孙女." Okay, look at this picture. If this is 我 have 2 sons and 1 daughter. Son, 儿子, and daughter is 女儿. This picture, they are couple. He is husband, 丈夫. She is a wife, 妻子. 丈夫 and 妻子 are more formal, and the partners in real life do not really call each other 丈夫 and 妻子. In some place like Hong Kong, Taiwan, when they introduce their husbands and their wives to different people, they will say husband is 先生 and the wife is 太太. 先生 also means Mr. It's formal and polite to introduce your partner as 先生 and 太太. Then any other informal way we can use to call each other in the daily life? Husband, 老公, wife, 老婆. 老公 and 老婆 is informal way to introduce each other to some people who are very familiar with. You must hear 爱人 this word. 爱人 literally means lover, but actually means spouse, female or male. It's usually used in self-introductions like 这是我爱人, this is my wife or husband. Alright, now let's look at this picture. This woman has one son and one daughter. It's a boy and a girl. We say boy. 男孩 and a girl. 女孩. Okay, more family members. If your dad has one older brother and one younger brother, you call the older brother is 伯伯 and the younger brother is 叔叔. Remember in our previous lesson, we also introduced 叔叔 this word. Okay, if your dad has sisters, you call your dad's sisters 姑姑. So 姑姑, it doesn't matter they are younger or older than your dad. You call 姑姑. Now let's look at our mother's side. If your mom has brothers, you call them 舅舅. 舅舅, it doesn't matter are younger or older than your mom. You call them 舅舅. And still your mother's side. If your mom has sisters, you call them 阿姨. 阿姨, it doesn't matter they're younger or they're older than your mom. You call them 阿姨. And in our previous lesson, we also introduced 阿姨. Alright, now let's look at this picture. She is pointing this picture. And she might have a question. Who is this? 这是谁? Who is this? How to answer this question? You say, 这是我儿子. This is my son. 这 means this. Now look at this picture. She is pointing that. And then she wants to know, who is that? 那是谁? And how to answer this question? For example, 那是我爷爷. 那 means that. Okay, look at this picture. In this picture, this boy's name is 小马, and this is his dad. So we say 小马的爸爸. Remember in our previous lessons, when the pronouns 你, 我, female 他, or male 他, as attributives to qualify kinship term, it's not necessary to use the possessive marker 的. That's why in this picture, we say 小马的爸爸. But in our previous slide, we say 我儿子, 我爷爷. Now, let's look at our today's language point. 这 and 那 can be used as pronouns to refer to people. When answering questions with 是 something 吗? 对 or 是 is used to make an affirmative answer. 不是 is used when the answer is in the negative. You may elaborate further by continuing with a negative statement or a corrective one. For example, 这是你爸爸吗? Is this your dad? 对，这是我爸爸. Yes, this is my dad. 那是你妈妈吗? Is that your mom? 不是，那是我阿姨. No, that's my aunt. Alright, we just learned how to call the siblings and other family members in Chinese. Before we learn how to ask and answer, how many people are there in your family? We need to look at the three pictures. First one, what is this picture? This is a family. We say 家. For example, my family. 我的家. What is this? This is your mouth. 口. 口 means mouth. It also can be a measure word for members in the family. We will introduce 口, this measure word, later. Alright. Look at this picture. They are your friends. You have friends. Have. 有. If I say I have friend, 我有朋友. Or if I say I have a teacher, 我有老师. Now let's look at how to ask the question, how many people are there in your family? Look at these pictures. Give me a sentence. they should be 你 This one 家 have or has 有 How many? We say 几口 Remember 口 And then they are people 人 So the question should be 你家有几口人 Answer this question. The answer is 我家有5口人 In this question, 有 can be used to state the number of members a family has. Now let's look at our language point 2 today. 几 is used to ask about a number, usually less than 10. For example, 你家有几口人？我家有6口人。There are 6 people in my family. Now let's learn the measure word. 口 口 is a measure word for describing the number of members in the family. In Chinese, when asking about the number of people in one's family, the question phrase 几口人 is always used, even when there are more than 10 people in a family. But why we use 口 as a measure word to describe the numbers of members? Now look at this picture. All these characters are 口 in different times periods in ancient China. 口 is a pictograph from ancient times. It represents the word mouth and is closely related to the concept of family, providing for one's family and bringing food to the table, or keeping the mouth fed, was probably the most important concern to a family in ancient China. So when telling the number of family members, 口 is usually used as the measure word. When there's a new addition to a family, for example, that picture, the couple gave birth to a new baby. The Chinese people would say, 我家多了一口人. That means there's one more mouth added to my family. You will understand this term if you think in terms of a smaller human population, as in the family unit, and then extend that to a large population, as in entire country. It's in this way that 人口 refers to the population of a people or the number of mouths to feed. Now you understand why we use 口 as a measure word when we describe the numbers of family members. Now let's learn how to list family members. 你家有几口人？我家有3口人。There are 3 people in my family. 爸爸、妈妈和我。和 means the end. Now let's look at our language point 4 today. When talking about more than one person or object, the connecting word 和 is used. For example, 我家有3口人，爸爸、妈妈和我。But some of my students, when they start to learn how to introduce, how to list their family members, they made this mistake. 我家有3口人，爸爸和妈妈和我。This is wrong. Remember, we always put 和 between the last 2 people or the object at the end of the sentence. Alright, let's look at this picture. This couple, they have 3 kids. We say 一个女孩 and the 2 boys. 2个男孩. Now, 个 is another measure word in today's lesson. Let's look at it. When quantifying a noun, there should be a measure word between the number and the noun. Different nouns carry different measure words. 个 is a universal word that can be replaced most measure words. So in today's lesson, 个 is used with people. But when introducing a person from an older generation or of a higher status, you may use 为 this measure word instead of 个. But it's incorrect to say 一位人. For example, 一个女孩 一位老师 We use 位 here when we say 老师 because we show our respect. And we learn the number. We know number 2 is R. R is used generally in numbers when counting to 10, giving out a phone number, and so on. R is not used to say there are two of something, and it does not generally occur with measure words by itself. 两 also means two. 两 is for measure words. When specifying quantities and using measure words to do it, 两 is used. This is when you want to say two of thing or both. For example, 两个男孩 two boys. Because 个 is a measure word, and 两 should be used to specify quantity. That's why we say 两个男孩. In our future lessons, 两 also can be used to read times in Chinese too. We will introduce later. Now, when you wanted to talk about your siblings with your friends, you might be asked some question like, do you have brothers? Do you have sisters? For example, do you have older brothers? 你有哥哥吗? Or 你有没有哥哥? How to answer this question? For example, 我没有哥哥 I do not have older brother. 我有两个姐姐 I have two older sisters. Now let's look at our language point 7. When telling whether one has certain family members or relatives, we often use the verb 有. Its negative form is 没有. Remember, we never ever have this word 不有 because we learned the 不 means no. But if we want to say do not have, there's only one word 没有. For example, 你有哥哥吗? Do you have older brother? 有，我有一个哥哥 Yes, I do. I have one older brother. 我没有哥哥 I do not have older brothers. In addition to using 有 something 吗 structure to form a question, 有没有 can also be used to form the same question. So in this case, it's not necessary to add 吗 at the end. For example, 你有没有弟弟? Do you have younger brother? 我没有弟弟 I do not have younger brothers. Alright, we already learned how to call different family members in Chinese. We also learned how to ask and answer how many people are there in your family. We also can start conversation to ask some question like, do you have brothers or sisters? Now let's look at some words about our body parts. Why do we need to learn our body parts here? Because you can introduce your family members or describe their appearance by using these body parts. You will also learn these body parts in the future lesson in HSK 2-3 when you go to see a doctor. Alright, from the top to the bottom, 头 your head, hair 头发 this is 耳朵 this is 嘴巴 this is 胳膊 then 腿 eyes 眼睛 眉毛 eyebrows 鼻子 nose 手 hand 脚 feet 肚子 belly or stomach 肩膀 shoulder. Now let's look at this picture. Dad and the son. Dad is tall 高 Son is short 矮 They're brothers. Older brother 胖 fat. Younger brother 瘦 slim. Now let's look at how do we use this word. If say, my dad is very tall. 爸爸很高 My younger brother is very short. 弟弟很矮 And if this is the uncle, uncle is fat. 叔叔很胖 And this is aunt. 阿姨很瘦。Alright, in today's lesson, we learn a lot of words. And I want everybody take your time to watch this video and digest these words very well. Then we will keep learning Lesson 5, Part 3, how to ask age in Chinese. Alright, let's look at the words together. 父亲、母亲、爸爸、妈妈、哥哥、姐姐、弟弟、妹妹、家、有、没有、口、个、爷爷、奶奶、外公、外婆、伯伯、叔叔、姑姑、舅舅、阿姨、孙子、孙女、男孩、女孩、几、头、头发、眉毛、眼睛、耳朵、鼻子、嘴巴、胳膊、肩膀、肚子、手、腿、脚、高、矮、胖、瘦、外孙子、外孙女。 Conversation. 这是谁？这是我父亲。那是谁？那是我母亲。这是你爸爸吗？对，这是我爸爸。那是你妈妈吗？不是，那是我阿姨。你家有几口人？我家有3口人，爸爸、妈妈和我。你有姐姐吗？我没有姐姐。你有没有哥哥？我有3个哥哥。哥哥很高，弟弟很矮，叔叔很胖，阿姨很瘦。Now I choose some important characters in this lesson, and you can follow the strokes order to practice your handwriting. This is today's quiz. Read this short paragraph and answer the question number 1 and 2. In our next video, let's check the answer first. So in today's lesson, we introduce a lot of information that your textbook HSK1 does not include. I think this information is very useful for you to know before you start keeping the new lesson. Alright, if you have any questions, email me or give me comments. 谢谢，再见。
If you like this video, like, share, and comment. If you like my channel, subscribe it. If you still have any questions about learning Chinese, give me comments. Alright, see you next time. 谢谢，再见。